Hello and welcome to the Festival of Media Awards LatAm. Thank you for joining our How to Win webinar. My name is Lisa Coromila and I'm the Awards Manager at C-Squared. If I can please ask you to mute yourself, that would be very helpful so we can avoid any background noises. First of all, I'd like to give you an overview of what we'll be talking about today. I will give you the key criteria to enter your work, the entry process, the new categories we offer, the timeline, as well as some top tips from the jury room and past judges. I'll then show you some examples of winning campaigns for a number of categories. So, Festival of Media Awards LatAm. The entrants can be media agencies, media owners, ad tech companies, mobile and digital specialists. And the campaigns must have run between the 1st of June 2015 and 31st of May 2016. And they can have been implemented locally or regionally. If your campaign started before the 1st of June, we can still accept it as long as the bulk of your campaign has run between the eligibility dates. As you can see, it can still be running, and again, we will need some of the results from your campaign, as well as obviously your client's approval. Even though our festival takes place in Miami, as well as the awards, the campaigns must be entered in English. Now, moving into the entry process, there are two stages to the entry process. First is the written entry, which is a very simple form online, and I'll guide you through the template in a bit. And along with the written entry, you are asked to submit 2 supporting images. They don't need to be specially created for the awards. They can be just screenshots from your campaign. The deadline is Friday, the 17th of June. Now, stage 2. We will announce a shortlist on Thursday, 11th of August. The shortlisted entrants will be contacted and they will be asked to create their 2-minute video. The deadline for that will be the 23rd of September, so you do have almost just over a month to prepare your video. Now, the video reels will be judged in the final judging round. I'll come to the judging process in a bit. This is a list of previous judges that have been part of our shortlisting as well as final judging round. As you can see, it's a mixture of brand companies, media agencies, media owners, and this year we're expecting the same level of experience in both rounds. Now, moving on quickly to the new categories. All the categories, old and new, can be viewed on our website along with their definitions, detailed definitions. I will quickly go through the definitions for the new categories, and for the rest, we can quickly have a look together on the slides. Now, best use of traditional media. This falls under the media section of our categories. This category is open to agencies, advertisers, or media brands who have effectively used traditional media such as TV, print, radio, or out of home to reach consumers, whether by scale of reach or targeting, for example. The campaign may have had some digital influence, but should show how traditional media was the key to the success of the campaign. Best use of digital media. This falls under our technology section. This category is seeking campaigns that have used the unique properties of digital media to best reach consumers. Activations could include, but are not limited to, web, mobile, out-of-home, social media, or custom-made technology solutions. Judges will be looking for great examples of how single or multiple digital channels have been used. Alternatively, where digital integrates with more traditional formats, so long as digital is crucial to the activation. The Smart Use of Data Award, that falls under our Insight section of the categories we offer. The winning entry here should demonstrate the smart use of data which has impacted the effectiveness of a campaign, whether data has been used to provide insights, used to monitor or improve the process of the campaign, or where data has been used for segmentation and targeting or retargeting, for example, Ultimately, the data should have improved results as evidenced by metrics such as web traffic or footfall, an increase in sales, an increase in ROI or engagement rates. Now, I'll come to that later, but results are really, really important to be included clearly in the written submission phase as well as the video submission. Judges really look out for results that need to be put into context so that your entries can be scored fairly. Moving on to the best use of an influencer. This category specifically rewards the brand that has best leverage an influencer as part of the whole of a campaign. This can be a blogger, a YouTube star, even an animated character, a celebrity, sports star, another notable character. The activation may be part of a planned campaign using the influencer or included in real-time marketing for the brand, so long as the benefits of using the influencer are clear. Now, I'll show you a video for this specific category. Obviously, it's the first time we offer this category in this edition of our awards, but the example I'll show you are from the festival we do for the MENA region, and it's a way of seeing, for example, how an influencer in an unplanned campaign contributed to the success of a brand and how the agency successfully activated their response immediately. Now lastly, a new category for this year, the Talent Award, which falls under the talent category. And this category awards a team, department, or organization which can show an excellent approach to impacting the talent agenda and improving performance. The award is open to brands, agencies, media owners, and technology companies that have innovated in recruitment, retention of talent, and or learning and development of the talent to create successful teams. The winning entrant will be able to prove success against metrics such as increased sales, employee retention rate, award wins, company rankings, or brand perception scores. So for this particular category, I would advise you to discuss this with your talent directors, your internal talent development teams, as you can put together your submission. Existing categories, as I said before, our categories are split within different sections. I will not go into detail, as I mentioned before, the definitions are on our website, but I will give you some tips based on our experience inside the judging room. So specifically, communication strategy and engagement strategy under the media section, they have been the longest running categories that we've offered so far, and they are fairly competitive, given the volume of entries we receive for them. Specifically now, for the Effectiveness Award, the results section of your written submission is very important. Obviously, we need to see proof of how the campaign has impacted the brand and metrics against it. And content, as you can see, best content creation, best use of video, best use of content categories belong to this section. Now moving on into the technology section, specifically I can advise you for the best use of mobile. From our experience again in the jury room, the judges really want to see a mobile first campaign, not just an extension, not just a nice to have, let's say, that could be implemented on a mobile platform, but it needs to be mobile focused and mobile first. So that's really our tip for that category. Now moving on to insights, best launch campaign, best targeted, and the Utility of Public Services Award. Now the Grand Prix, a lot of you ask if they can be entered. These are actually non-entering. Campaign of the Year, Agency of the Year, Agency Network of the Year. So basically in the Grand Prix, we ensure that the spread of client work is taken into account, so that a brilliant single campaign that wins lots of individual categories won't have more impact than an agency with the same number of wins, but with different campaigns from different brands. So we have a specific system of calculating these, and obviously the more, let's say, awards a campaign has won in the different, even if it's gold, silver, bronze, if it has been shortlisted, it does count towards the Grand Prix calculations we offer. Now, moving on into the essentials. So Obviously, you need to have received approval from your client before going ahead with a submission. You need to ensure that the information that you provide are accurate. And obviously, if there are any issues with the specific submission to be published on the public domain after the awards, please let us know. And the written submissions are treated highly confidential on the shortlisting round as well as the final round, but we do publish them after the festival and after the awards are over, along with their videos for the shortlisted entries. Images. As I mentioned earlier, you need to upload 2 images to support your entry. And again, they don't need to be heavy in text or graphics. They can be just a visual representation of your campaign, or of basically a screenshot of your campaign. And please respect the word limit. There are quite a lot of words at your disposal. We do advise all our entrants to use them as much as they can. And judges are after basically storytelling, a story within your written submission, so use them as much as you can. And also ensure that you enter accurately the company name and the country. Obviously, this impacts the Grand Prix calculations. Anything that is under the entering company name, country, your campaign name will appear once we announce a shortlist. It cannot be changed past the deadline. Now, ensure that your entries are on time. We do provide. You do have a lot of time to submit your entry, but late entries past the deadline may not be included on the shortlisting judging round. So please make sure you send this to us on time. Give yourself the time to write your entry, review it, and we would advise you also to have it reviewed by other members of the team, somebody who's not necessarily, say, has been part of the campaign you are submitting. Speak to everyone involved in the campaign to have different perspectives, and this will require time. So our advice to you is start early to write your campaign. Now, a tip from our side is that even if you complete your campaign and pay for it, you could amend it up until the deadline. So let's say that you completed this week, you have plenty of time until the deadline to edit it if you feel that some points have been missed. Now, this is how the actual page, the login page, when you start to submit your entry looks like. It's a very straightforward process. I don't want to go through it in a lot of detail. Obviously, if you have any questions, we're more than happy to help. And basically, this is a landing page. You need to create your registration details, and then you start typing in your text. Now, this is your the last page of your entry. You can see the name of your campaign, whether it's been completed or not, and the date that you initially entered it. Now, our top tips from the jury room are the most common feedback we have from the judges is that a lot of entries have been entering to their own category, which is very unfortunate. Even if a judge believes that your entry would have done brilliantly in a different category, we are not allowed to move entries. So please ensure that the campaign that you've decided to submit is submitted to the right category based on the category definitions that you'll find on the website. And obviously, you can enter your campaign more than once, but we are not allowed to move entries, even if, as I said before, the judges feel that it could have done very well in a different category. We would also advise you to edit your written submission based on those category definitions so that it's relevant to that specific category it's been entered into. And our other advice, and something that specifically a judge from our other editions, the MENA edition specifically, had mentioned, is what would you say if you had a 30-second elevator pitch to promote, to explain your campaign? So it needs to be, your written submission really needs to be clear and concise, and clearly outline the challenges and the objectives of your campaign. Your written submission is broken down into objectives, insights, strategy, execution, results. Now, the objective section is not actually being scored. It's for our judges to see what your campaign was about. On the insight section, we would advise you to say upfront, why is your campaign brilliant? Why does it deserve to win? Don't forget results and how important they are. We really advise you to put them into context. And going back to the inside, we want an in-depth insight. Strategy and execution, we've had quite a lot of cases, funnily enough, where there hasn't been a clear distinction between these two on the written submission. So please ensure that each section is focusing on what the actual section is referring to. So strategy and execution are separate sections. We do offer the opportunity to view past winners on crimglobal.com, our online archive. I would advise you to go there and to check who won in the past, good examples of written submissions as well as video submissions. So we do advise you to get inspiration from other winning campaigns. Also, if a colleague has judged in the past the specific edition, I would highly suggest you got in touch with them, because they would have seen what good looks like. They would have been through almost 5 hours worth of submissions to score, so I'm sure they will have some really great insights to share with you. And my email is included on this slide, at the last slide, so we're more than happy to give you the names of the judges from your agency in case you're not aware of who judged in the past, so you can go back to them and ask for advice. Now, common mistakes. As I mentioned before, picking the wrong category or content not tailored to the criteria. Again, we advise you to edit your written submission based on the category you are entering. Do not assume that all the judges know your brand, your marketplace, or the cultural context. That's very important. So our judges come not just from the region, they can be global, and they have their own, I guess, perspective of cultural background. So please put as much context as you can in your written submission. Avoid confusing objectives with insight. And putting results into context are tips. Our tip to you, and please be on time when you submit your work. Now, moving on the second stage, after we announce the shortlisted entrants, as I mentioned before, we get in touch with them to provide the deadline for the videos. Now, the video needs to be 2 minutes, and the video needs to work as a standalone piece. Basically, for the final judging round, where our judges meet in person in Miami, we do not allocate specific time for them to read the written submission. It is available to them if they wish to refer back to it, but the main element of their judging and scoring is the video. So our advice to you is please include as much information on the video as you can, including results, because that's very important for the judges to score your entry fairly. And again, put as much context as you can in your campaign, the target audience, your business challenges, as well as the results. The videos must be in English or have English subtitles.